How many of you have had the experience of trying to help someone, but instead of them feeling loved or closer to you, instead they got angry, thought you were trying to hurt them, or definitely didn't feel like you cared? In this video, I'll explain why that can sometimes happen and how you can help people in ways that will feel like help to them. Today on Discovering Differences. For me, helping has always been when someone helps me to get something done. For me, especially as a mother of 7, I was always so grateful when somebody would help with the dishes, help put a kid to bed, or help me in any way that made my job easier. I also really appreciated when someone would help me to feel better. They would listen to me, help me figure out my feelings, or help me to feel like I could do this and would help me along the way. Unfortunately, when I would try to do that for other people, sometimes the reaction was quite surprising. Sometimes people would get angry and think that I was saying, "Oh, well, you don't think I can do it?" or things like that I was very confused about. Until I learned about a different way of thinking. In my way of thinking, my focus has always been on what I was trying to get done, doing things. But I learned that there was a different way of thinking of people that were more focused on trying to be the way they wanted to be, knowing who they were and making sure that they were being the best me they could be. In that way, we help each other based on what our focuses are. For me, my focus was on trying to do things. So obviously helping meant helping me to do something that could get the goal or the result that I was going after. For be-thinking people, or people who are more focused on who they are and trying to be a certain way, helping is somebody who helps them to feel good about themselves. People who can encourage them and build their character and helping them to be the best version of themselves. For them, things like saying, "You're amazing," or "You've got this," "You can do this," "You're doing a great job." Those are comments that help them to feel good about themselves so that they can get up and do everything that they need to do. So when I would try to help them by saying, "Hey, I'll do that for you," or "Hey, it's okay, maybe you don't have to do that," or "I'll do this for you," it was coming across in a way that made them not feel good about themselves. Like, "Oh, you don't think that I can do it." These different ways of thinking can make a big difference in what feels like help to them. For me, when someone would say, "Hey, you're doing a great job," or You're amazing," but they wouldn't help me with the job that I needed done, to me, it felt like they didn't really care. They were lazy or they just didn't want to help me. Well, that may not have been the truth, but because they were trying to build me so that I could feel good about myself in order to do, it didn't work. It wasn't working at all because what I thought was help was actually doing something. Where on the other side, when I would try to help somebody by doing or making their job easier, it wasn't helping at all because it was having a different effect. So what do you do when two people think completely differently? How can you help someone that thinks in an opposite way? Well, if your goal is to actually help someone, then it would be helpful to help them in the way that feels like help to them. For me, when I've realized that trying to get something done for them or helping them to feel better by encouraging them to do something with me isn't working, then I've learned that I can say, "Hey, you're amazing. You are wonderful." Trying to help them realize that they are good even if they don't do something, which is a hard thing sometimes for people who know that doing things can help them feel better. But for people who are more focused on who they are, it can come off as controlling, abusive, and just making them feel badly about themselves, which is not at all what doing type people are thinking. And that's important for being type people to recognize when people are trying to show love. Now it happens in reverse. Being type people try to help those do thinking people by telling them how amazing they are and that you're doing a great job. But if that's making someone feel upset or feel like you don't care, then you might try the opposite. Try doing something with them or doing something for them or telling them it's okay if you don't do everything. I'm going to be okay. Or just appreciating stuff that they are doing. Because often doing people are doing things for other people out of love. In the same way that being people are trying to build people out of love. It's so important in this world where people are breaking up relationships and struggling, when we at least recognize when people are showing love. That's been the most amazing thing about discovering all these differences, is that people do care. People love each other, but often we just don't recognize it because of these opposite ways of thinking. If this video has been helpful at all, I hope you will like and subscribe and especially share it with somebody that might be able to use it. It can make a huge difference in a marriage, in a relationship, or even with your children when you're trying to connect with them. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time on Discovering Differences.